Let's bring in veteran defense attorney Eric Chase. Mr. Chase is the founding partner and chief counsel of the Criminal Defense Group. He joins us from our Los Angeles bureau. Counselor, welcome to Bottom Line. Pleasure to have you on.
Thank you for having me.
Sir, what did you think of today's developments?
Well, look, this case is over. When you're defending a sexual assault case, there are three things you look for. First, does the victim have a motive to lie? When you have a rich person being accused, you have motive in spades. Second, you look for inconsistencies in her statements about the event. She lied about what she did after she says it happened. And third, and probably the most important, is you look for prior false allegations of sexual assaults. Look, this maid lied about being gang raped in her home country of Guinea. There's no way this is going forward.
Mr. Case, but her attorney, Mr. Thompson, said that is in fact not true. He said that she is telling the truth and that she was in fact sexually assaulted back in Guinea.
Well, the evidence seems to be very different. Look, this woman called a convicted felon who's in prison on drug cases to talk about making money off this. She's admitted to lying on her asylum application about lots of things. Among them, from what I've read, is the Guinea rape. Now, I know her civil attorney is trying to make a lot of money off this, not only for her, but for his own pocket, is doing anything he can to salvage it. Unfortunately, it's just not salvageable.
Mr. Case, though, but with all due respect, do you really believe that that is in fact the case, that he is looking to make money for himself at the expense of this woman who claims to have been the victim of a horrific crime?
Oh, no, I don't mean to impugn him in that way. That's what civil attorneys do. I am not a civil attorney, but civil attorneys who sue people, especially very rich people, hope for paydays, not just for their clients, but for themselves. He's trying to salvage what for him was a very important case. I don't mean to impugn that. That's what civil attorneys do, and he's doing his job. Unfortunately, it's just not going to work.
Mr. Chase, what about the allegations that her attorney made today that the district attorney has basically been fumbling this from the very beginning and has facts at their disposal that they are just not making public?
Well, I think the district attorney to some extent did fumble it. Remember, they went to the media, and the defense attorneys for DSK had to come forward and say, hey, look, we have found this evidence ourselves. They did their job. They did the investigations. They sent the evidence to the DA's office. Once they took a look at it, they said, hey, look, we can't win this case.
Sir, given Mr. Strauss-Kahn's stature and given what the judge did today, were you surprised at that development? We understand that he is free on no bail. He's limited to staying here in the United States, can't use his passport. He cannot, I believe he had surrendered his passport before, and he cannot travel outside of the country. Is that standard operating procedure for someone who is accused of a crime this violent?
No, not at all. Look, he was charged with a crime that most people are in custody for. If they thought there was a bad case, it should have just been dismissed. This releasing somebody, it's a halfway measure. In my opinion, it's the DA trying to save face and dismiss this case slowly. There's no question this case is on its way to dismissal, and the only reason that it happened this way is because of the high-profile nature of Mr. Strauss-Kahn.
I was going to ask that. I'm glad you brought that up, because at some point, he said, she said, turns into a she said versus somebody who has immense power and stature and is an international figure.
Well, that's part of it, and certainly it is difficult to prosecute high-profile people, as we've seen for many, many years. But in this case, that's not what's happening here. You have an accuser who has problems. She came into this case with significant problems, not just in how she reported this case and lied about it when it started, but her past. And certainly with those things on her side, it doesn't matter who Strauss-Kahn was. It could have been somebody off the street. If a victim comes in with those problems, the case is just not winnable for the prosecution.
Mr. Chase, though, again, with all due respect, what happens sometimes here is you have a situation where the victim of an alleged assault feels as if she is being victimized again because maybe there were some discrepancies in her story, and that doesn't necessarily mean she's not telling the truth.
Look, we all come into everything we do in life with our past. It doesn't go away. People who've been convicted of crimes in the past have a more difficult time defending themselves on new charges.
Is that necessarily fair, though, in the arena of jurisprudence?
This is not about fairness. This is about our Constitution and proof beyond a reasonable doubt. And when somebody has those kinds of problems, yes, it is more difficult for them to make sexual abuse allegations stick. Is that a bad thing or a good thing? I personally think it's a good thing, that people with bad credibility should not just be taken at their word because it might have happened. It's proof beyond a reasonable doubt, and it's not here for Strauss-Kahn.
Eric Chase. He is the founding partner and chief counsel of the Criminal Defense Group, joining us from Los Angeles. Mr. Chase, we appreciate your time today. Thanks so much.
Thank you.